I never imagined in my wildest dreams that anything could be this bad. Ben! Will this sweep me away?
Welcome back everyone to the Straight Line mission to end all straight line missions. You rejoin me at the 24-mile mark, having scraped through the farmland and powered through 10 miles of cold, wet and frankly hellish pine plantations, losing my phone, my marbles and all control of my body temperature along the way. For all its low points though, yesterday's battling had put me in a great position for day 3 and the rest of the mission. And as a result, me and my team were in pretty good spirits going into it. Still on target, incredible really, when I think of some of the seas of fallen logs. Providing our early morning crossing of Lake Kielder went swimmingly, it promised to be a similar day to yesterday. 10 more miles of loathsome pine plantations, but with more moorland this time, and by the looks of it, much better weather. I could by no means get excited, because at any moment the trip could be ended by another swathe of deadly fallen trees, which would still be slippy from yesterday's rain. That said, the idea of reaching Camp 3, a cosy roadside camp that sat just over the halfway point beyond the worst of Kielder Forest, was something that would spur me on massively throughout the day.
Day 3, big day. I feel like when today's done, we'll have really broken the back of the mission. Yeah. Just got to kayak across the biggest reservoir in the country. See you down at the water's edge. Yes. Bye. First time in the darknesses. The most stereotypical noise. Great big owl.
As well as the most remote place in the country, Northumberland is also by far the darkest. And boy was that apparent as I rejoined the line. Luckily, I'd gotten to know this particular bit of ground quite well.
Traversed this section 3 times.
It was then over our tyre tracks and the main road and down a steep little slither of forest to the lake shore, where I would wait for Ben.
God, it's flooded. Tell you what though, the lake looks as still as a mill pond, and that is great news.
Maybe they are wrong.
Yeah, they're the wrong way around, yeah.
There's a button. Yeah. Tom? He's coming round now.
I waited a tad longer than expected, but just as the first photons of light appeared, so did Ben.
Well, hey! You have got my paddle, haven't you?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a tricky spot to access due to it basically being a flooded wood, but it could have been a lot worse.
That should be alright, man. Oh, right, man.
And after a bit of a job unwedging the fins from the grassy bed below, we were away.
There we go. Oh, hopefully the fin's still on. Okay, we need to veer left. I'm going to put that there. Yeah, that's perfect. Bye, Verity! Okay. Full speed ahead, Mr. Wilson!
This crossing wouldn't be without its fiddly bits later on, and technically it was forbidden and enforced by park rangers, but all being well, thanks to these lovely calm conditions, this promised to be one of the more pleasant crossings I'd done, which was probably more of a relief for Ben, who had actually never kayaked before. He was a natural though, and we were managing to stay online with only the odd small drift and at our predicted pace of 3 miles per hour.
How you finding it, Ben?
Alright.
In the second half, my legs did start to tense up and ache a fair bit.
Oh, my legs are not feeling good, man. They're all tensed up.
But happily, there wasn't a lot else to report, and we were soon nearing the first of 3 tree lines.
Right, we need a good exit point, don't we? Oh, to the right a bit. The same for that bit of grass. There we go. What was that, 10-15 minutes? Okay. Well, that's perfect. Oh, yes. Good call, man. See you around there.
The first peninsula can't have been more than 50 metres across, was lovely and flat and bare.
Yeah, that's good.
and even gave me an easy dismount into the adorable little second crossing. Peninsula number 2, however, promised to be a bit trickier.
Okay.
Same again, mate. Undo them.
Yeah, be interesting to see who gets there first.
How does the boat look?
I imagine you. See you around there.
Yeah, sick.
Cheers, Ben. Mad Mackham. Right, so far so good today. We're on schedule. We could have fallen trees though here already today. That's really bad. We've got tall and short in the same bloody place. No.
But with Ben on his own little mission to paddle around the peninsula, I just had to battle on through it. I was in the highest of spirits this morning, but it doesn't take long for a concoction of slippery logs and thick vegetation to get you nice and frustrated.
Oh no. Can't have too much of this today.
But eventually it ceased, and the downhill half of the peninsula was not only clear, but bloody lovely.
Yeah, I can see the water's edge, which means there's nothing blocking my path to it. Here we go. Let's see where Ben thinks I am. Yep, over here, mate. Can you see me?
This final entry was definitely the trickiest of the three, and we were already compromising.
Nice, yeah, I like that. Oh, we're in.
Once we'd shoved our way out of the branches and got ourselves back on line though, we knew our work together was done.
Look at this, guys. Let's just take a moment. Oh, steer to the left, Ben. Absolute glistening mill pond of a lake. And yeah, the morning's gone well, hasn't it, Ben?
It's gone perfectly, mate. There's been no one around. No wind, like at all. There's not any wind.
Yeah.
There's no rain.
There's even a bit of gap in the cloud.
Blue skies. Sun's going to come out a bit later on.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And we're nearly at the end. Ah, there we go.
Another job well done.
Oh, yes. And the time is 8:27.
I know.
Literally what we predicted.
I know.
Fingers crossed for today, guys. Wish me luck.
I heard that earlier as well.
Just as an orchestra of chainsaws crescendos in. Mate, thanks so much for that.
Thanks, dude. Right, catch
That
you
was
later
great.
on, buddy. Good luck.
Cheers, man.
Enjoy the weather.
Good luck on the way back, man.
Yeah, no, we good. Peace.
See you in a bit. And we are away. Let's frigging go. Today's gonna be hard. I'm under no illusions, but the thought of that van at the end of day 3 is such an alluring thought that it's gonna get me through. I'm not gonna let myself get too negative today. But I do say that whilst walking through the roomiest trees yet.
Section 1 was fiddly but generally okay.
Ooh. This is the road you're not allowed to drive down, but that would have been very useful.
And section 2 was dark, twangy and uphill, but again quite walkable.
I won't lie, I feel really good right now. I do think this day might be manageable. The lack of rain makes the world of difference. And yeah, just when you've been through something so grim as I did yesterday, this just feels like pleasant. And it just lifts your spirits so much.
There was still a lot of moisture on the trees, and it was a bit shit to think that I may well get soaked through again. But for now I was nice and toasty and making light work of these sections.
Yes, I'll take this. Oh, walking down a path. That is heaven. This is odd. Never had this before. Right, whatever this is, it looks awful by the way, but we've got about 700 metres of it. Then a big patch, then another little bit of forest, then it's the moors. That is so good.
This section was quite brutal, to be honest, and it did make me pretty wet, but it was going to take a lot more than that to put a dent in my spirits this fine morning.
Wow. Blindingly beautiful. Oh, hello you. Oh, that's dazzling. There's the shadow of a victorious man who's not yet victorious, but will be soon. You're going to see that image again, except cast onto the beach by the morning sunrise on Saturday. Mark my words.
High spirits are meant to be dented though, at least on a straight line mission, and 10 minutes later, having boldly bulldozed my way through the even denser and more drenching second half of the section, spurred on by the mile of tiny tiddlers that apparently laid ahead, that's exactly what happened.
Is this the end? Oh shit. It's not what I thought it was. 1.3k of this. That is an absolute dagger to the heart. Not least because I'm just starting to get wet through, and this is gonna completely drench me. This is a real low point. All of a sudden, every inch of me wants to walk around this thing. 1.3, nearly a mile of this. It's going to be really slow and it's going to drench me, but what choice have I got than to just plough straight into it? Let's do it.
But just as I was preparing myself mentally for an hour of raindrop-coated pine needles to the face, it seemed the straight line gods had been kinder than I first thought.
This isn't too bad at the moment. Stay like this. Yeah, come on, come on. If it stays like this, I'll be delighted. This is probably the same pace, nearly, as moorland or tree stump sections. The sun is there, it's going to dry me off slightly. It's just mad how quickly your fate can turn and your spirits with it.
It was in this section with the sun shining down that I really got a sense of how humongous this so-called forest actually was.
God, it's just trees as far as the bleeding eye can see.
This section alone was 270 acres and just a tiny fraction of the Kielder forest as a whole.
Fucking insane.
Just like yesterday, the final few miles of this day would also be forest, and because that forest could look like this, it was imperative that darkness didn't fall while I was still in there.
I can see the end. It's more trees after that, but I can see the end of this.
The final section of this morning's trees was particularly bushy and slow.
Get me out of this stuff.
But finally, after 2.5 miles and almost 2.5 hours since the lake, I was finally out of them, and crucially, I was still on track.
Right. Oh look, there's Kielder water. Friggin' miles away. Right, good news is I'm fairly warm and I've moved, well, not at the quickest pace, about 1 mile an hour or just under. So yeah, if the moors are really zapping, I'm going to be doing 1.5 miles an hour, which will make this a tight day. But if they're good, if they're not terrible, then I can do 2 miles an hour, which will put me right on track, and it'll be a happy ending to this day.
A few hundred meters later, the tree stumps had disappeared, but worryingly, not a lot else had changed.
As suspected or feared, I think it's staying like this, and trust me, it's awful. There's holes in the ground, it's extremely uneven, as spongy as anything, really wet. You have to lift your legs up really high, and this is going to be a tight day. There you can see, look.
For the first time in the mission, the gloves came off and the peanut M&Ms came out. I was to meet Ben again for a general restock at a meeting spot dubbed Ralph's at no later than 2. I was just about on schedule based on my first reading, before a quick reminder that even on the moors I would do well to watch my step.
That is not a good sound. I promise it wasn't an intentional cinematic thing, a story thing, this whole race against the clock thing each day. I'd really rather not be rushing or stressing. I'd rather take my time, believe me. It's just that there's nowhere to meet. These places are so remote. Now, as we crest this hill, I wonder what's that lighter stuff like. Well, it's coming up really soon. Yeah, this should be quicker. At least your feet aren't dragging on all the heather. I can I run? I mean, I think I can, and I think I should, you know. I think I should, when I can. Glad I've missed that, by the way. Now, should I? No, just walk fast, mate. Just walk fast. Roll your ankle.
On this firmer ground, the pace was up to 2 miles an hour, which was great news for the day and could make all the difference if there were fallen trees later on, which, spoiler alert, there would be.
Look at this. How did that get here? And how old is it? Looks like it could be 60s or 70s. Can anyone drive here? I don't understand. What's it full of? Looks like hay. Look at those tyres, how far they've sunk in. What a relic. Is it even real? Oh, now. Can we jump this? Oh, yes. Ahoy!
With the sun dancing right off the stream just nice, giving it a nice bluish hue, I ventured on.
Oh, what's next?
The answer to that was actually a small strip of woodland, but as Brazilian as it was in nature, on these windswept moors it could easily, just like the one I narrowly avoided earlier, have been completely flattened.
Here we go.
As I entered, it looked like it could be pretty bad.
Oh, Christ.
But despite particularly slimy surfaces, I somehow managed to stay absolutely bang on line thanks to an incredibly favourable layout of logs.
Oh, yes. That was incredible. Okay, that was an incredible line through that, not terrible patch, but pretty bad patch. And I'm hoping that that's it. What a beauty. Oh, yes. Now, there's still such a long way to go on this mission, but for the first time, I'm starting to get truly excited about the idea of arriving at that beach, just like I did in Wales last year, except with an even greater sense of triumph. That one was just pure relief, really. This one would be be like scoring a last-minute goal in a World Cup final after a really hard-fought game. You know, it'd just be pure elation and triumph. And man, does that spur me on now.
The lovely 2 mile an hour pace continued, pushing my ETA at Ralph's back to 1:30. And as Ben rushed back from his 4th consecutive full English breakfast in a row with Verity, a tree line began to emerge on the horizon.
I reckon the top of that hill there might be the meeting point. Well, not far off.
In this bracken gorge, I briefly turned into Jules Holland.
The Killers! Bubbling Brook!
And after wading through some more waist-high heather, I entered this cool-looking bouldery area where I completely ignored my earlier advice.
Oh God, I saw that too late. Okay, have I injured myself? I don't think I have. I think I've got really lucky. I banged my knee off that rock, but unless it's just adrenaline, I think it's all right. Jesus, Tom. Really got away with one there.
Thankfully, there was no serious pain emanating from my kneecap, but as I climbed up to the highest point of the day, the legs did ache.
It's taken out of me, this is. And I can't help but think about the 3 miles of forest that I've got to do after this meeting spot. The less I think about that, whoa, the less I'll be startled by birds, I guess.
And after precisely 142 glorious minutes on the moors, it was torment time again.
Right guys, that is the moors done and dusted. Just under 2 miles an hour, which is what I was hoping and dreaming for. These look a bit annoying, but not too small so I can't barge through, and not too tall so they're falling over. So it's gloves on Let's go meet Ben.
It would have been far too good to be true if this forest section was easy, but it happened to be one of the worst sections so far.
Oh, this is really bad. Really bad, to be honest. I hope it's not all like this for the rest of it. I can't wait to meet Ben, but I've barely moved. I'm crawling.
My arched back was granted a few more degrees,
These look slightly better.
but progress was painfully slow.
We're a quarter of the way through it.
Unlike yesterday, the van definitely couldn't get anywhere near the meeting spot, so keen ultra runner Ben was currently running up to meet me. The cookster and I had enjoyed a bit of a Space Oddity sing-song in the van the previous evening, so when I did finally approach the gravel road where he'd be standing, I thought I'd announce my arrival in style.
This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way.
But my beautiful rendition had fallen on deaf ears.
Planet Earth is blue, and where the f*** is Ben? Oh, he's not here. I was only 3 minutes late as well. Ben! Doesn't seem to be near either. Bit of a curveball, because I need to get moving. I can't stay here for long. Anyway, I can actually walk down this road for 100 metres or so, which is good. But yeah, not sure what to do. I'll wait a little while, but when I do go, I need to make a mark on the floor to let Ben know that I've gone. How's that? That's enough to let him know, isn't it? As I'm already getting cold.
Luckily, I still had some water and food left in my bag, and the meet-up with Ben wasn't absolutely imperative, so I put my faith in these rocks.
He likes running anyway. He'll be fine.
But then, just as I was about to cut reluctantly back into the trees...
Oh, there he is. He's f***ing legging it. Benny boy! What happened, mate?
Huh?
Turns out Ben was 10 minutes late, not because he'd spent the last half an hour running uphill, but because he'd dropped his phone in a muddy puddle down at the car park. And sadly, the reaction to that one wasn't captured on film.
Sorry, I'm not having much off you. I mean...
That's fine, mate. It's just nice to know that you're okay.
After a welcome top-up of electrolytes and various other treats, it was time to get going.
I imagine you don't need us to meet you at the next spot.
No.
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 Back on to the end now.
Crack on to the end.
Back on, mate. Well
Thanks,
done.
Ben. That was really good. Oh, bit shivery now. Come on, let's do it. 2.5 miles of this shit.
Considering there was a road just 25 metres to my right the entire time,
I can see the road right there. It's so annoying.
spirits remained high throughout this section. Today's dream of reaching Camp 3 before dark was feeling more and more like a reality, and I was more determined than ever to make it one. You never quite know what's in store for you on a straight line mission though, and coming up next was by far and away the worst section of Short Pine I'd ever had the misfortune of entering.
Right, now they get shorter, don't they? Oh, shit. And it carries on for 1.2k.
This time I reminded myself that on 2 separate occasions so far, similar looking sections had turned out to be nice and spacious. So to begin with, there was hope.
Oh, it might be so short that there's gaps. I'll be absolutely over the moon if it stays like this.
But on this occasion, it would do no such thing.
Oh my god, man. This is some of the worst forest I've ever had. Oh, this is the worst one I've ever been in, I think.
And things were about to get unimaginably worse.
What the f*** is this? No. No, that's a joke. Merry Christmas. Very funny. What is going on here? I don't get it. I almost can't get through. The If I'd have reached this yesterday, I think I would have screamed. This better end soon, because I am going nowhere. I'm just not moving.
I don't know what had caused it. Maybe this place was an illegal dumping ground for fertilizer, steroids, or even cocaine. Whatever it was, these trees were growing in absurd numbers.
No, I genuinely, physically, I can't get through that.
This was density I'd never seen the likes of before, but because it came in waves, there were moments of relief. It's amazing, actually, how you adapt to different levels of suffering. And soon, anything that wasn't an absolute rampart of Christmas trees felt heavenly in comparison. What felt like a lifetime later, I bravely pulled out the GPS to see how far I'd come.
We've done 270 metres and we've got 1k to go. Wow.
Once again, it's hard to really convey just how arduous and infuriating this section was.
Oh, look at this, man.
I was certain that I was the most unreachable person in the country at this point, and when it became clear that it wasn't going to get any better, I started to panic a bit.
Dread to think what speed I'm going at here. Dread to think. I've got to keep going though. I don't want it to get dark. Really don't want that. I'll take my eye out.
My hard work throughout the day had put me in a good position going into this, but at the rate I was going, I could easily be stuck out here in the dark.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, guys. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
But there was only one thing I could do.
I'm not even going to look at how long's left. I'm just going to keep battling like a machine. Okay, I've now done a third of it. I mean, I can't keep showing you this footage, it's so samey, but I have got 2/3 of this to go.
So, what you're seeing now is an incredibly condensed account of the final 2/3 of this godforsaken section. To mitigate the threat of darkness, I zigzagged around the most impassable parts,
Some of this, guys, I physically can't get through.
barged my way through the rest of it,
You.
and stopped very swiftly to wolf down an energy bar and a gel, because boy was this a tiring activity.
250 metres of it left now. 1/5. It's a miracle I haven't been blinded in here, to be honest.
Finally, after over an hour of incessant bulldozing, freedom.
Oh yes, okay. I think this is the edge. Got no words for that. Absolutely no words. Worst section of anything I've ever done. It's got to be. It's never going to come across on camera. That's beautiful.
As torturous and time-consuming as that section had been, it had taken a big chunk out of the day's remaining distance. I now had 1.5 miles to do in 1.5 hours. In other words, I had to get my skates on. So, trying not to roll my ankle on this stuff, that's what I did, before arriving at another 200-metre section of packed pine.
What the f*** is this now?
This time slightly shorter, which was good, but with slimy logs all over the ground, which was bad. It's not any more entertaining to watch though, so I'll skip straight to the part where I almost lost my GPS.
No! Shit, I've dropped the GPS. Please be there. Oh, thank God. Imagine how easily you could roll your ankle here. Oh my God, it's like a friggin' ice rink, except not flat.
And after another precarious 20 minutes in this pesky plot, some beautiful medium-sized trees, something I would normally scowl at, finally greeted me.
Oh yes, heaven. This is heaven. I never thought, that is so mad. Earlier today I would have said this was shit, but this is heaven. Oh, beautiful. Oh, blitzing it. Okay, a little heather section here, but we're heading into very tall trees now, and very tall trees are often horizontal. Thanks to a speedy half mile there, we do have time before it gets dark. We just need a bit of luck. Oh God. I'm gonna get wet in a bit anyway at this river. Oh, didn't mean that one though. Well, looks like I'm getting wet earlier than I thought. That's gonna be deep. Could try on this. I don't know if that's a good idea. This log is slippy. Look at that. Okay, this is the tricky bit. I'm higher up and there's less to grab onto, and I've got a duck. Got a duck under this. You can get out the way, can't you? Oh my God, can you not? I'm nearly there. Bag stuck. Oh, oh, oh God. Nearly went. Oh yes. That was masterfully done. Right, as cool as that was slower than just wading through, but I actually think I'll make the time up just by being dry. We have fallen logs. They don't look too high though, too stacked up. I reckon there'll be a route through this.
To my delight, there was, and with lovely dry clothes, it was very manageable. And there was more good news.
Check this out for a couple of markers. We've got Forest Drive, but also, unless my eyes deceive me, it's the halfway point. That means we are 850 meters from the end. The biggest river of the trip waits for me there, but then immediately after, a warm van. So we're going to be fine.
I'm not sure why I said that. I should know better by now. And just 200 meters later, with the light fading and my energy waning.
Shit, I hope I don't have to go through that. Shit. I am going through that, I think. This fallen log section. Someone coming. Okay. This is a proper bad one. Right, I've got to think carefully about this.
What we were dealing with was a similar situation to day one, stretching for about 200 meters, except this time it was slippier and darkness was about to fall. Crucially though, unlike on day one where the line went straight down the middle, the edge of it did seem to be closer to the line.
Right, I'm going to try and find a path down here, but I'm already about 20 meters off. Wish me luck.
Just grateful that it was still light, I followed the edge down to about 27 meters offline, where a safe-ish route presented itself.
Let's try it. Oh, what a hurdle at the end. This is so typical. I think I've just got to compromise here. I've got to push the boundaries a bit, but not that much. Oh, and that is the problem. They're so slippy. I'm not in control of where my head's going to go.
Venturing in any deeper was far too risky, so I had to hope that skirting the edge of the worst of it didn't take me more than 54 meters or so offline. So far so good in that regard, but the day's exertion had well and truly caught up with me.
I need more sugar. I'm crashing.
Not only did the licorice all sorts hit the spot, but I reckon they might have been vital in getting me through these tricky obstacles mistake-free.
Taking risks here, but got to get there before dark.
I now had the energy and focus to calmly battle on through this damp, cluttery hellhole, deviating 42 meters at the furthest point, but most importantly, reaching the other side before dark and without a branch sticking out my face.
And I can hear the river. Oh, that's a big relief. It's still light. I'm past that. I'm past everything. And that is why I've moved quick. That is why I've been stressing. That is why this mission is such an undertaking.
But I wasn't home and dry just yet.
What are we up against here? Shit. Look at that. You got one part of the river spilling into the other. How is that possible? Anyway, that is going to be an awful crossing. And then apparently I can go round that bit. Am I gonna get wet licorice all sorts again? I'm not gonna eat them, am I? Probably. What do I do? How deep is it? It's hard to say. Okay, I think I've got an idea.
The plan was to throw my boots over, put my trousers and jacket in my dry bag, and wade over in my sealskin socks, pants and life jacket, which funnily enough was only in my bag to act as a sort of cushion.
Didn't think I'd need to wear this again. But here I am. Look at me. Whoa. There's two. Could I throw that? No need. Okay, I'm gonna start here. How deep is this, do you think? It's up to my cock at the moment. It's gonna get deeper though. And this is gonna be really fast flowing, isn't it? Will this sweep me away? Oh, it's trying. Yep, it's trying, but it's not gonna succeed. Oh, yes. Oh, come on. I don't care anymore. How mad is that? Mad little waterfall. 16 meters off course. And then 100 meters over there is the van. I can't wait.
I'm not sure why I didn't put my clothes back on for this final climb, or at least tie my shoelaces, but it made for an amusing sight for my support crew.
Oh, hey! Don't laugh. Now.
We heard you getting in the water. We heard somebody go,
Really? Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
We've got the blowers on, mate.
Mate, you're a legend for that. That's it. Cornish pasty.
This is how good co-op meal deals are. That was classed as the snack.
What?
Yeah.
I am ravenous in a way that I don't think I have been before.
And with that, the third day of this odds-defying mission was done and dusted, and man were there some positives to that. The dreaded Kielder Forest had almost been conquered, and I've got to say, looking back, it was pretty tight on both days. If I'd have stopped to take my boots and socks off whilst crossing rivers, for example, I'd have been tackling that last section in the dark. Yeah, there had been some fairly sizable deviations, 54 metres being the biggest, followed by 45 metres at the end there, but all things considered, I'd been incredibly lucky really not to have encountered another one of these bad boys. On top of all that, I was over halfway, and the landscape, generally speaking, was about to become more favourable and quick moving on the whole. However, and this is a big however, the first 6 miles of that landscape was a military firing range apparently littered with unexploded shells. Do not miss next week's episode where I concoct an audacious plan to cross that firing range before the tanks come out to play, before attempting to cover a record-breaking 21 miles in a single day, which would put me within sniffing distance of the North Sea coast.
The biggest and most decisive day of the biggest mission yet. I could get caught and there's a tiny chance I could be blown up. I can't go through this. I can't do it anymore. Are they shooting? There's loads of people in there with flags.
If I walk through there, they could shoot me.